So you're thinking of making a move to Orting? Well, in this video, we're gonna take you inside of my computer and show you around everything you need to see on a Google map so you can get a good idea of the different areas, what kind of schools there are, show you the parks and neighborhoods, how far it is for you to get to the airport and other major cities. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk you through all of that. And stick around until the end because I'm going to share with you some information that will help you find the perfect place to live in Orting, and we're getting after it right now. If this is your first time to this channel and you want to know everything about living in Pierce County, then subscribe below and tap that bell for notifications so you can be in the first to know about the current market here in Orting, Washington and the surrounding areas. My name is Austin Robertson and I'm with Real Broker. We get calls and emails every day from people just like you looking for help on making their move to Orting and the surrounding areas, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're moving in 9 or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. All the information is right there in the description box below so we can help you make a smooth move to Orting. All right, well, let's take a quick dive right into the computer. All right, so here we are looking at the greater Seattle-Tacoma area, and down here south, about 30 miles from Mt Rainier National Park is our town that we're looking at today, which is Orting, Washington. So Orting is a really cool turn of the century town. Means prairie in the woods from a native word. Covers about 2.8 total square miles, so not super huge in that aspect, obviously. But one of the key ways to tell what's inside of Orting, what's outside of Orting, is that Orting is bordered by 2 separate rivers. Okay, so you have the Carbon River over here, and you have the Puyallup River over here. And this more or less kind of draws the border for Orting. Now, inside of Orting, based on the 2022 census, there was about 8,900 people. So Orting is definitely a smaller community. And right now, Orting has 2 elementary schools. It has a middle school and a high school, obviously. So looking here, there's the stadium. There's Cardinal Stadium there. Orting High School Stadium's there. Here's Orting High School, Orting Primary School, Orting High School, other elementary, and obviously the middle school. So right in the middle of town, you really have all 4 of the schools. Orting High School did just win 2A on state for wrestling, and they're looking at a lot of new initiatives. So they're looking at adding another elementary school and then a big addition to the high school. Now, you might be wondering why that is. Well, when you take a zoom out away from Orting, up here you have Tahale. So Tahale is the neighborhood I live in personally, so you can see it right there. In fact, look at that. There I am. But as our neighborhood continues to grow out and expand, they're looking at adding in about 9,500 homes. And right now, most of the homes that are built in currently are sending their kids to Sumner Bonnie Lake. Anything new, so anything new that comes into play will be sending children to Orting schools. So Orting schools is definitely going to have, I believe, a challenge to keep up with the influx from those areas. So if a house in Orting isn't exactly where you want to live and you're looking a little more rural, anything that's being built right now inside of Tahale or in the future would be a really good kind of secondary option. Orting has 3 parks that are more or less the main ones. White Hawk Park right here. This is a nice park. It's got a lot of green space. There's kids soccer, playgrounds, good area for sure. And then we of course have, there is Calistoga Park there. We have a baseball field, lots of green space. We have places to play, and then you can kind of throw the dog park in there as well as part of Calistoga. So if you're down by the Puyallup River, it's a nice little area. And then the one that I think I see a lot of people use is this one right here. This is technically, they call this 3 different parks, but right in the middle of the town, there's these 3 little parks. They're lined by sort of the cute, really quaint downtown, the donut shops and the restaurants and the barbers and all of that. So, you know, if you're walking that little downtown area and your kids have too much energy, it's a really good place to just stop and let them play while you're out there doing those adventures. All right, some of my favorite places as far as if I'm going to eat in Orting, I gotta tell you, I am personally, I'm gonna say this is a personal thing for me, Tim's Kitchen. Tim's Kitchen is amazing. Some of the best chicken and waffles. I will drive the 30 minutes into Orting to have these chicken and waffles. So Tim's is a kind of a down home style restaurant, amazing breakfast. It's a poppin' place. Legendary Donuts is super popular here. They have really big donuts, some extravagant things, great drinks. So if you're, you know, taking your kid to school, you know, maybe up here at the primary school and you live down here on this side, stop by, grab your kiddo a donut and truck onto school. And then Los Pinos here has some really good Mexican food. So one of the things I will tell you about the Pacific Northwest in general is I feel like there's a constant lack of quality Mexican food. It's something I've been struggling with since I relocated to the PNW myself. So it's a nice spot to stop and have some Mexican food. One of the great parts about Orting is it is the 4th leg of the Daffodil Festival. So the Daffodil Festival comes through Orting. It's got a beautiful parade. It goes through, of course, 3 other towns inside of Pierce County, but it's a really neat little festival, and it really kind of shows up big on the town. So it's a nice little event to have. This area right here is kind of your Pioneer Village shopping center, shopping mall, whatever you want to call it. This space is quite a bit newer. It's got a lot of what you really, in my personal opinion, need to get by. So there's some fast food, McDonald's, Gravity Coffee is amazing. You got a gym, you got Papa Murphy's, you want some take and bake pizza, and then you do have urgent care and your grocery store along with a gas station all right there. So, you know, you get the quaint little old downtown, and then as you go north a little bit, you kind of have that little newer side as well. So it's a cute little area to have. Orting really does have all the makings of what you would need to live in full time. So according to bestneighborhoods.org, the highest, most desirable areas inside of Orting are going to be Orting's northeast side. So up in this area here, that's going to be the most desirable, most sought after area. And some of that just has to do with its location to heading into other towns, getting into Bonnie Lake, things like that. But there are also some really, really nice homes in that space. The most affordable is just going to be the eastern region. So if you're looking kind of right in this space here, is going to kind of be your more affordable region. So that's going to have some of the older homes, some of the older neighborhoods. But a lot of these places are really close to the Carbon River, and that allows you to really have good access to some beautiful nature, nice walks with your animals, nice walks with your kids, and just really, you know, taking in all of that. Homes in Orting, one of the things that is a big plus, even when you look at how close it is to a lot of things, is that homes in Orting on average, according to the Northwest Multiple Listing Service, are selling for $517,000 as an average price point. But if you were to take into account all of the homes inside of the Northwest Multiple Listing Service, it'll tell you that our average home that sells is $635,000 right now. So Orting is below the average for the general region. You can get a lot of house for a good amount of money. You're close to schools. You are close to, like I said, really kind of everything you need. I mean, you're still going to want to travel and get out and visit other towns for a lot of things, but you can get a big discount if you're willing to drive, a little bit around. Now, speaking of driving around, most of the citizens of Orting, they do own cars. There's not a lot of public transport in Orting. If you were to look at Orting and you were wondering, like, where would I go for public transport, like let's say to the city, you're going to be really coming in here to this Sumner area. Sumner does have a light rail. It's called the Sounder, and it does travel directly up to Seattle for you. So, right to Seattle and the airport. So, if you do take a car, though, it's not the end of the world. In fact, to get from Orting to SeaTac, so if you were going to start here at Orting and you were to drive to SeaTac, to the airport, you're looking at a total of 43 minutes on the road. So that's pretty decent, actually, to be down here in a rural space, past a lot of highways, things like that. Okay, here's the thing. I will tell you, if traffic gets wild, it could obviously be longer. If you're going to take this same route and go over here to Tacoma, which is going to be your closest big city that you're really going to have access to. And Tacoma has everything any big city needs to have, and all of the things that you probably don't like in a big city also, but it is a 35-minute drive. So those two are pretty close. And then if you want to truck on and go to Seattle, it's about 55 minutes. So overall, you're within an hour of just about, anything that you would want to have or need to get to. And even Mt Rainier National Park here, you're about an hour and a half from leaving Orting and taking the trip down to the national park. It's going to take you about an hour and a half to get there. Now, technically, you're only 30 miles, just straight shot from the park to Orting, but based on the way these roads are to the national park, you're not getting there in a square 30-minute trip. You're more likely going to end up, for the best views, taking a route that goes up and around and down to entering the park itself. So you're going to be looking at about a $1.05 there to get to the national park. So those are really kind of the big things that you need to know when you're looking at Orting. It's a small town, again, about 8,900 people, not too crazy. Cute little downtown area. It's pretty safe area. All your schools are close. Everything you need, grocery stores and whatnot, are close. But let's take a quick look over here at, let's look at some highlights of the economy. So it says right now our unemployment rate's about 6.8%. There has been a pretty steady increase in jobs in the Orting area. Obviously, if you're living in a town of only 8,900 people, the amount of jobs are going to be limited. I think most people that live in Orting do not work inside of Orting. Orting is about 24% higher than the national average. This is considerably better than most of Washington. I mean, you could see just the difference in the home prices where we were looking at earlier. As far as the weather goes, Orting is very similar to the rest of the greater Seattle area. Yes, you're going to have rain. Summer is going to start around July, and it's going to be warm for months on end. September is kind of like the most pleasant month, so our summers do run long. December and January, we have what's called the Big Dark, and we're about 50-50 as far as sun and darkness. So if you're okay with dealing with short days for a couple of months, it's completely fine. So, and then as you can see here, transportation, the average commute is about 37 minutes. And again, I'm going to say that goes a lot to do with how a lot of people that live in Orting do travel outside of Orting for work. So if you're enjoying Orting and you're worried about work, you have a lot of access to a lot of jobs between Puyallup, Tacoma, Bonnie Lake, Buckley, Enumclaw. I mean, however far you're willing to go, obviously, but those are close options that you have available to you. And then lastly, let's just take a minute and let's take a peek at housing in Orting. So we kind of looked at that average number that said that the average home in Orting sold for about $517. And I'm going to show you kind of the range of what we're seeing. So this is my personal website. I've searched it down just to Orting. And if you look at these, this 2-bedroom, 1-bath is $479,900. Here's a 4-bed, 3.5 bath, it's over 3,000 square foot for $1 million. That's going to be, you can tell us by the photo, that's a brand new build, a brand new structure. But here's what I see a lot of. I see a lot of these older homes in Orting, around the $400 to $450 price point. This one's a 2-bed, 1.5 bath, so it's a little bit older, but it's at $399. And then here's a bigger one, 4, 2.5 for 2,700 square foot at $655, $499, $150. I think this is probably a mobile home. This one's $585, $550, $519. So you can see really when you dive into Orting, there's a lot of different price points for homes. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create this page here. I'm going to drop it down into the description box for you. So if you're wanting to search for homes in Orting, you can go through here and look at all of them. It'll update on a regular basis and really give you that nice and easy browsing ability. It updates every 5 minutes. So more available than and more consistent than like Zillow or Realtor.com will be. You're not going to see homes that are available if they're not available. All right, well, I hope you guys got something out of this video. I hope kind of explaining Orting to you was something you got some value out of. Again, I don't care if you're moving in 9 or 90 days, please reach out to us, phone call, text, email, whatever medium is best for you. We'd love to help you make a smooth move to Orting. And until next time, can't wait to show you around.